Hello there, Jonathan Rayo here with Simplified Guitar, and in today's lesson I want to go over the song Wish from Disney's feature film Wish. So I'm going to play through the song for you first, and then afterwards I'll break it down and explain it to you in more detail. So make sure to stick around for that. For now, let's go ahead and play through the song.
Isn't truth supposed to set you free? Why do I feel so weighed down by it? If I could show them everything I've seen, open their eyes to all the lies, then would they change their minds like I did? But when I speak, they tell me sit down. But how can I when I've already started running? Oh, this is where we've been, but it's not where we belong. And I may be young, but I know I'm not wrong. So I look up at the stars to guide me, and throw caution to every warning sign. If knowing what it could be is what drives me, then let me be the first to stand in line. So I make this wish to have something more for us than this. So I make this wish to have something more for us than this. Never knew I needed room to grow. Yeah, I did what I was told, but someone told me no. Now I got all of this freedom in my bones, but I still got the lid on so it doesn't overflow. 'Cause I've got reservations and hesitations on where I should even begin. I'm past dipping my toes in, but I'm not past diving in. If I can just be pointed in any given direction on where to go and what to do. My legs are shaking, but my head's held high, the way you always taught me to. So I look up at the stars to guide me, and throw caution to every warning sign. I'm sure there will be challenges that find me, but I can take them on one at a time. So I make this wish to have something more for us than this. So I make this wish to have something more for us than this. So I make this wish to have something more for us than this.
All right, for this song, we're going to be using the C chord family, but we're going to be playing with our capo on the 5th fret. So that's going to put us in the key of F. So the song starts off with the C major chord, and we want to make sure that we're not strumming that low E string when we strum the C major. Now, if you wanted to do a little bit of finger picking, kind of like the beginning of the song, you can hold that C major and use your thumb and just pluck the A, D, and G string like this. And then after the C chord, we have the D minor chord, which is going to look like this. And for the D minor chord, we want to make sure that we're avoiding the low E string and the A string. We're going to start our strumming on the D string. And then after the D minor, we're going to have an F over C. And F over C is a nice F alternative in the C chord family because we don't have to bar anything. So for that F over C, it's going to look like this. We have our first finger on the first fret of the B string, and then our second finger on the second fret of the G string, and our third and fourth finger are going to be on the third fret of the A and the D string. And we're going to strum from the A string down for this chord. Another chord that comes a little bit further down in the verse is the A minor chord, and the A minor chord looks like this. We have our first finger, first fret of the B string, second finger, second fret of the D string, third finger, second fret of the G string, and we're going to strum from the A string down. And towards the end of the verse, we're going to have a walk from the C chord down to the A minor chord, and we're going to include a chord right in the middle of those two chords called the C over B, and that's going to create that walk from C to B to A. So we have the C major chord, and then to do the C over B, we're going to remove our third finger and put our second finger on the second fret of the A string, and that's going to create our B note right here. And then we're going to keep our first finger down on the first fret of the B string. And we want to make sure to start our strumming on the A string, not strum that low E string. Now let's take a look at the strum pattern. For the strum pattern, we're going to be using a pattern called the sway pattern. And for this one, it's going to be in 3/4 time, or 3 beats per measure. So we're going to have 3 beats in a measure, and then that pattern is going to repeat. So at its foundation, this strum pattern, we want to be strumming down on every beat. So on beat 1, 2, and 3, we're strumming down. But we're also going to throw in an up strum after beat 2 and 3. So we have beat 1, 2, and 3, and like that. And that's the very foundation of this pattern. But something that's very important is that we need to put emphasis on the first beat of each measure, and that just means we want to strum harder on beat 1. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and. And this is a great way to practice this pattern, is just to keep your strings muted and to count the beats out loud while you're doing the strum pattern. That way you can get it set to memory before you try to apply it to a song. Now we have a part of the strum pattern where we're going to pause, and that's going to be at the end of the chorus. Whenever we get to that G chord, we're just going to strum that G chord and let it ring out while we finish singing the line. And then we're going to start back over with that progression A minor F C, which is kind of like the progression for the chorus and the instrumental parts of the song. Now when we get to the bridge, we want to do just solid whole notes for that part. And what I mean is, we're just going to strum one time for each chord. So every time we have a chord, we're just going to strum it once. And when we have a new chord, we're going to switch to that new chord and strum it once. And the reason for that is because the chorus is very fluid, and there's so many words, and it's not really following a rhythm. So it's going to be really hard to try to strum to that bridge. So it's best just to do one strum for each chord of the bridge. Because what we don't want to be happening is the melody of our voice clashing with the rhythm of the guitar in this part, because the melody and the notes of the melody are not lining up with the rhythm of this song. So it's best just to let the rhythm at that point kind of quiet down and let the melody kind of rise to the top. And we can do that by just giving that solid one strum per chord. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next lesson. Take care.